Hi everyone, I'm Gary Lamassa, the new TME here at Pluribus Networks. Thanks for viewing this how-to video on automatically building a fabric with UNUM 3.1. Before we begin, I wanted to highlight that using UNUM to automatically build a fabric is step 2 in a 3-step process to creating a physical underlay topology. Zero-touch provisioning and the automated underlay are going to be covered in other videos. Let's take a look at the physical topology we'll be using. We're starting with 4 switches, provisioned, licenses activated, and cabled up. This is a fairly straightforward 2-leaf, 2-spine layer 3 deployment. All of the switches are on the same management subnet, can communicate with each other, as well as the UNUM Fabric Manager. Now remember, there are other options such as layer 2 or existing spine deployments. We're just using this topology for our example. During fabric creation, UNUM will automatically execute and verify CLI commands across all of our switches, such as accepting the end-user license agreement, assigning management IPs, device discovery, and applying any configuration changes we designate. Oh, and throughout the video, you may notice some connections to ESXi hosts. They aren't part of our presentation, but they're there for some additional projects. You can just ignore them. Before we access UNUM, let's take a quick look at the CLI. Now this is not a necessary step. It's just to show that all 4 switches are unconfigured and that the end-user license agreement has not been accepted. To access UNUM, open a browser, we recommend Chrome, and type in the management IP. This will take us to the login page where we can enter our credentials. This brings us to the main page in UNUM, which as you can see is empty for our environment. Now, we want to create a new fabric, so in the global pane, we select the blue Add button. This is going to give us 3 options. The first, the seed switch option, is useful when we want to add an existing fabric created with a CLI or the REST API into UNUM. The second option, the NetVisor fabric license, is the one we're going to use. This is when you want to create a new fabric with at least 2 spines and 2 leaves. And the last option, the NetVisor Enterprise Layer 2, Layer 3 license, is to create a new fabric with 1 switch or a 2-switch cluster. Alright, this is where we start entering in some of the information about our fabric. I'm going to call this TME demo new. Now, notice this line host file. All a host file is a simple text file that lists host names as well as management IPs. It's another way of adding switches to a fabric. We're not going to use this option. We're going to do it manually. But if you'd like to take a look at some samples, you can use the link off to the right. Now we need to enter in a username. This needs to be either network admin or just admin, as well as a password. Then we click on the blue next button. All right, in this window, we're going to add switches. So the first thing I'm going to do is select the blue Add Switch button here. Type in the switch name, as well as the IP address. And designate it as a leaf. Then I click the Add Switch button. We enter in the second leaf. Add our spines next. Okay, always take a moment to double check. 2 leaves with the right IPs, yeah. 2 spines and the right names, great. So we're going to hit the blue Save button. Now, remember those host files I was talking about? If you'd like, based on the information you just entered, you can click on this blue Download File button, and it'll save a copy of a host file to your browser's download folder. Okay, as we can see in the details pane of TME Demo New, the fabric is being created and provisioned. Now, all the settings we applied, as well as all the CLI commands necessary to implement those settings, are being executed here. In addition, checks are occurring that verify the provisioning was completed properly. Building a fabric typically takes a few minutes per switch, so I'm going to pause the video briefly, then unpause after the process completes. Okay, we're back. As we can see, we have a mesh fabric with spine 1, spine 2, leaf 1, and leaf 2. Also, in the details pane, we have some more information now. We can see each one of the switches, their management IP address, their status, CPU utilization, memory utilization. Now, if you notice on spine 1, you'll see some text called out. This is the collector. All that is a switch designated by UNUM to collect information for analytics and management. Now, if we look at our Playbooks log, we can see all the actions that have occurred, starting with the end user license acceptance. We can see Jumbo being enabled. We can see trunks being disabled. We can see ports being connected, all the way to the last item, which is fabric creation. All right, at this point, the fabric's been built, and we're ready to take the next step, which is building the underlay. For more how-to videos and documentation, please refer to the resources section of the Pluribus Network's website. The QR code on the right will take you there. Thanks for watching.